Hello, Crazy Keith here. Today we're going to be talking about gas tanks, and in particular the gas tank on this 1923 JD, affectionately known as Temperamental Judy. Preparing it for a motorcycle cannonball. Was going to shoot for the September 2020 cannonball, but it was postponed a year. So now I have a little bit more time to prepare for the cannonball and to mitigate some risk. And one of the concerns that I have that I notice that other cannonball riders have had problems with is gas tanks. And now the most common problem is that it develops a crack and it starts leaking gas and sometimes winds up in catastrophic damage. But there's also another possible failure for gas tanks. In particular, the left-hand tank on this JD is separated between gasoline reserve tank and an oil tank, and thus the two gas caps on the top. Well, the gas cap and the oil cap. And so a possible failure might be that the gas leaks and weeps from the gas tank over into the oil and thins the oil, and that would be a bad situation because you probably wouldn't catch it happening. You probably wouldn't identify it happening. So I decided just to check it. And so the way I checked it is I filled up the reserve tank all the way to the brim with gasoline and had the oil tank completely drained, and I simply get a flashlight and I peer down into the hole, and I watched it for a week to see if I could see any gasoline weeping through. Fortunately, good news, I did not. Now, I also wanted to consider all possible risks with gas tanks. This 1923, I was not the original owner of this 1923. In 1923, I did not walk in the Harley shop and say, I'll take that green one. So I don't know the whole history of this bike. And while the tanks appear to be good on the outside, I want to know what's going on the inside. So today we're going to do a little boroscoping. I have a boroscope here that I bought off from, I guess I probably bought it off of Amazon a while back. This is called an endoscope, and it's only $23, and it's one of the best investments I've ever made. It's got a USB connector on the end. It's got a connector that you can hook up to an Android phone or to USB to a laptop. It comes with software to load on the laptop, so I'm going to be using a laptop today to take this boroscope. It's a rather long one, and it's you also notice it's a small diameter. I think it's advertised to be 5.5 millimeters. So I'm going to use it to go peer into the tanks and look around, and hopefully I don't see any bondo or any repair from the inside of the tank or any excessive corrosion or that sort of thing. So here we go. Let's take the gas caps off, and we're going to go inside and look at the inside. So we're looking at the right tank, and we're going in through the gas cap hole, and immediately notice that there's a wall to the front. There's also a wall to the rear, and not certain whether this is intended to be a baffle wall or a structural wall, but you notice that there's a gap at the top of it, and that's the same thing for the rear wall. So if it is for structural strength, it doesn't support the top of the tank much. Looking forward, you can just see to the front of the tank. Now I do get a glimpse here that there might be another wall in front of this wall. So yes, there you can see it right there, the wall in front of the first wall. So there's actually 3 partition walls in the right hand side gas tank. Something going on with caveman drawings here. Not certain what this is about. They kind of look like lemurs or something. Is that they've got, if you look near the bottom of them, they got feet and a tail, and they got a face to them, and they're a family with different sizes or something. Hell, I don't know. Strange though. When you remove the left gas tank and look at the inside surface of the right gas tank, you notice that there's an outdent area, that fills the cavity in between the 2 upper frame tubes, and we can see this cavity when we're on the inside of the tank. So here we are back inside of the tank, and you notice that it has a seems to have a piece of band iron near the top and a piece of band iron near the bottom. But what you're looking at with the brown area, that brown area is when you're looking into the outdent area. There's that bracket at the bottom. There's actually 3 sets of those brackets, and they're on the outside of the tank. They stick downward, and you use screws and nuts to hold the left tank to the right tank and to pinch the frame tubes. And so that's what that little square piece of metal was there at the bottom. So at this point, I decided to remove the gas tank so that I could dangle the borescope into the tank. This is looking towards the rear of still in the right hand tank, and it appears to that corner edge there has got some type of a black caulking sealant on it that runs down that edge. Makes me wonder if it was the same material that was used to make the caveman drawings. When you look, we're looking towards the back of the gas tank. Matter of fact, there you see that little square in the middle. That's the very end of the gas tank, and I got the gas tank is up on end, and I'm dangling the borescope into the gas tank, and so there's a little bit of gasoline back there, and that's why it lights up so well. It was an interesting discovery, this ring here, and you can actually feel this ring. It's not that far away from the gas cap hole. So you take your longest finger, reach into the gas cap hole, and feel around on the ceiling. This is got the camera upside down here at this point, and feel around the ceiling, and you'll feel that ring, and it's about a ½ inch in diameter. It must have been something in the manufacturing process, because there's nothing on the other side of the tank. So I'm trying to work the borescope to get it to go in and get more of that cavity area. Starting to get a glimpse. Yeah, there you caught a glimpse of the fuel outlet. It's a little cylinder thing that sticks upright. The borescope has a light on it, and I can control the light by turning it up and down, and when I turn the light up and down, sometimes the picture comes in better. So I'm trying to get the image to come in better. It's difficult to get a feel for what the dimensions are when you're using a borescope, and this borescope has a wide angle lens on it, so it throws things out of proportion. I don't think that fuel pickup is that big. I mean, I think it sticks up tall. It's like an inch up off of the floor of the tank, and again, this picture is upside down, so up is down and down is up. And if you look there, you're starting to see a rounded surface in the upper right corner. That rounded surface, that's one of the cups where the rocker valve is. The tank is raised in this cup area so that the rocker arms for the intake valves on the cylinders have some clearance area to go into. So I'm moving down in lower into the tank area, and occasionally I see these silver things, like I don't know whether it's a solder or brazing, but you know, that almost looks like a part, like a cotter pin or something, but it's not. It's a bead of solder that is residual from the manufacturing process. There at the top of the picture, you caught a glimpse of a rivet. There you can see it on the left. That's a rivet that holds down one of the 3 plates for the three mounting brackets. It looks like almost like a grease zerk or something like that, but it's right on that plate, so I assume it's a rivet. So, ooh, look at that. You know, there's that cup area again. I got a better view of it now, and there looks like there's a short shorter wall that slices through, not through the center of it, through the one side of it. So some kind of support wall, I guess it is, but it's not as high up as the other wall. So interesting. So now I'm taking the borescope, and instead of feeding it over the top of the wall, now I've fed it down through that outden area. And so you're looking at that rounded corner that you see there. Now what the heck is that? Anyway, the outden area doesn't seem to have any walls in it, and so the borescope goes down it quite nice. You know what? That's the fuel pickup. Look, the fuel pickup is a screen. I didn't realize that it was a screen. I thought it was a more of a slot or something like that, but it's a screen. It doesn't appear to be clogged any or not. Boy, this is really starting to make me wonder, because when I open my petcock up and drain the tank, it goes down to where there's 1 inch of gas left in the bottom of the tank, and maybe perhaps the screen is clogged up and I'm not able to get all of the gas out of the gas tank. This raises new questions for me. Great picture. So what you're seeing on the right hand side is the floor of the outden area, and first of all I flipped the tank over so the front of the tank is down towards the ground, and I've fed the borescope in over the top wall and worked my way. Well, actually, okay, so there's the outden area, and I had a picture of the cup. This is the cup for over the front cylinder, for the rocker for the front cylinder, and the borescope is looking down at the cup. And so I've gone over top of the wall, and now I'm shaking the gas tank to try to get the borescope to point down. But as you can see, there's a wall there, so I'm not at the front of the tank yet. Bright mode. Ooh, look, there's a shorter wall up there. How interesting. So anyway, this is the very tip, the very front of the tank, and on the left-hand side you see the outden area. I'm working to maneuver the borescope to where I want it at. I wanted to know more about the fuel pickup, and so I removed the petcock, and now I'm taking the borescope and going in through the petcock fitting and looking at the screen from the inside. And the first thing you see is there's a large solder bead that goes down the one side. They used plenty of solder in putting this bike together. I was surprised when I took a drill bit and I stuck up through the petcock hole and I measured how tall the fuel pickup was, and it's actually about 2 inches tall, so much taller than I had anticipated. Now I've gone with the borescope into the left-hand reserve tank. This is the smaller tank on the back left-hand side. First thing I see is this plate at the bottom. Interesting, there's a little tab at the top that's curled around. I've tried poking at it, and it's fairly solid. I don't know what it's for. The plate's got 3 rivets in it. If you look on the outside of the tank, what you see there is that's where the shift lever is, the gear shift lever. And you correspondingly see the 3 rivets. You see the towards what we're looking at now is the edge where the bottom of the tank meets with the inner wall, and that's a 90-degree turn, and correspondingly it's a seam. And there's the fuel pickup. Looks a lot like the fuel pickup on the right hand side of the tank. And now looking towards the back of the tank. Generally, the tank is in good shape. Don't see any repairs in there or anything. This tank is a little bit more rusted or corroded than the right-hand tank was. So now we're going to go into the oil tank, which is in the front left. And so you notice that there's the gas cap for the reserve tank, and right in front of it is the opening for the oil tank. I got the cap off. Let's go in and see what the heck? What? Somebody's got some stash in here or something? I wonder how long that's been in here. Hey, oh, hey, man, hold on, guys. Hold on just a second here. Let me get back with you here in a second. Well, I messed around with coat hangers and things like that. Turns out this shelf here really isn't a shelf. It doesn't have a floor in it. And when I touched that roll of money, it dropped down into the oil, and when I tried fishing it out, it pushed it forward in the front of the tank. Well, anyway, it's gone. Happens to me a lot in life. I have to get money, and then it's just gone. Anyway, so this is looking over top of the wall, and you got a glimpse there of the pump, the hand oil pump, that round tube there that's going down. Generally, looking at the oil tank overall, it's very clean, and oil seems to do a good job with preserving. So this is good. So again, this is the shelf and how it connects on the left wall and goes across. By the way, is that if you start off with an empty tank and you put 2 quarts of oil in it, you can see the front face of this shelf, and when you look down in the tank with 2 quarts of oil, it fills up to the bottom of that wall. So if you want 2 quarts, you fill it to the bottom. If you want 3 quarts, you fill it to the top of the wall. Generally, during the cannonball, I'm going to try to keep the oil level each evening. I'm going to check it and fill it up to the bottom of that wall. Okay, so now we're going down lower. Let's go down and take a look at what's going on the underneath side. So, okay, so I got the borescope down low, and it's sitting on the floor. That hole that you see up front, that hole is actually the hole where oil feeds out and goes to the oil pump on the engine. And then that copper tube going up, or it looks like it's copper, that's actually the outer tube for the oil pump. And you notice that it's been soldered in place there. I guess that's what that is, solder tailings on each side of it. You see a sheen over there to the right on the floor. That's the little bit of oil residue that's still laying in the bottom of the oil tank. So when I immediately go down in the oil tank, to the right is this tailing that sticks up. I also see black stuff around here, probably black stuff that kind of looks like the same black stuff that was used to make the caveman drawings. And I wonder if it's some type of a seal that was used at some point in time. There, that brown, you're looking down into the tank, and that you see a little bit of oil laying in the bottom of the tank. Right there, that's a tailing that's sticking up. When I first looked at it, I thought it was a cotter pin. And I tried grabbing a hold of it with pliers and pulling it out, and it wouldn't let go. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to leave well enough alone. I don't want a hole in the tank. It's been there for 98 years. It can be there for another 98 years. So bottom line is the endoscope, the borescope, is a good tool to use. It's certainly fun to play with, and it's informational. There was a lot more baffles in the tank than I was expecting, and consequently I wasn't able to see all corners of the tank. I did some Googling and research on tank sealing, and I was considered getting the tank sealed, and I decided not to do it. Sometimes it causes more trouble than it's worth. Now I will, on the cannonball, I'll buy a can of tank seal and carry it with me, and if I run into any problems some evening, I might pour a little in the tank where I suspect there's a damage area if I should need it. But I'm not going to use tank seal. This tank looks to be in pretty good shape. So thanks for watching.